Hello, my name is Rich Howard, owner of Architectural Builder Supply. In this video is to bring you a closer look at the Donjo number 942-S-CW. This is a satin stainless steel door reinforcing wraparound plate, and let's take a look at it. Okay, here's what it looks like. At least this is what it looks like with its peel-away protective film on the face of it. That is going to be a stainless steel brushed finish. It's solid stainless, in fact. Okay, made of stainless with a brushed satin finish. You can see the stainless, somewhat processed material underneath, but that's what this is. Now, the 942, that part number with the -CW, but the 942 tells you everything about the item dimensionally. And as you change the part number, the dimensions will change. So if you're looking for an item with these specific dimensions, it's a 942. Let's go over what those are. The extended description down below this video tells us that we are dealing with a unit that's got obviously two holes in it. And what that's going to tell us is that we're dealing with a unit that's 4" by 9". Okay, so 4 by 9. Generally, that plate's going to be a little heavy on 4" because they're kind of measuring from the inside of here. So 4 by 9, and again, all these dimensions are buried in the part number. You have an 1 3/4" thick door. You have 2 1/8" diameter holes, 2 of them, and you have them at 4" centers. That appears to be accurate. And that you have both of the holes at a 2 3/8 back set. If you change any of those dimensions, it's no longer a 942. Okay, that's a 942. Now, the CW is a variable in the part number, and the other variable that's possible is the VF. CW means that there will be a recessed area to receive the latch bolts that you will then use the included machine screws to attach your latch bolt directly to the plate and then put the entire assembly into the door. A VF would give you a hole in the edge, but it would be completely flat, meaning the latch bolts are intact and are in the door, and you don't want to remove them for whatever reason to attach them to the CW type unit, or you have round latch bolts and there's no way to attach those to this, so you would order the flat front or VF unit. Okay. 63, or the S in the part number, S or 630, does mean stainless steel. Okay. Now, installing this item, I've installed these lots of times, and generally wraparound plates are used to correct an error on a wooden residential door. These cannot be used to close off holes on fire-rated doors. The application of wraparound plates on fire doors is strictly not permissible, according to NFPA 80. So be mindful of that. This won't help, close off holes that are otherwise too large. But if you have a wooden door and changing the door is not realistic for whatever reason. The door could have been manufactured in 1925 and is practically irreplaceable. And yes, there's some damage on the locks, but you know what? You'll take this over an entire new door. This is something you may be able to do, whereas maybe a door installation is something that you'd have to hire someone for. I never see these installed in new installations, although very occasionally someone will order it saying, I know there's going to be abuse and vandalism, I'm putting it on there right now on a new door. So occasionally. But generally you've got some damage. A kick-in, vandalism, you had to break the door in because you locked your keys in, and you split the edge of the door, or you damage the door so sufficiently that the latch bolts can no longer attach to the door independently. And that's why they would attach to the CW version. Again, using those screws into these threaded insert nuts that are here. It'll come with mounting screws as well. There'll be 4 of them because you do have 4 mounting holes. And when I install these, I'm for sure going to start with a dry fit. I'm going to stick it down over the door as kind of best as I can, no screws, and I'm going to test the operation. I'm going to make any sort of adjustments that are needed at that point. And the thickness of this item is probably about 40 thousandths, I would guess. So it's not thick. It's not even a 1/16 of an inch. But if your door was tight to begin with, like a 1/16 of an inch margin, you're going to find it really tough to go, oh, he's good. Well, kind of good. 0.032. So this is a 30-second thick. But if your gap is only a 1/16, now you've only got a 30-second, this is definitely going to rub. You'll want to plane the door, adjust the door, maybe shim the door, maybe chisel the hinges a little deeper to suck it over to the hinge jamb a little bit, pick up a proper amount of space. I suppose you could even take and route the edge of your door so this is flush with the edge of your door. You might pick up the dimension that you need there if you have a tight-fitting door to begin with. You might have to rework the holes a little bit, or maybe they're so damaged that it doesn't matter. However you get it to fit properly in a dry fit, that's what you're going to do before you start to attach it. It's no good if the lock, if the door no longer closes because you've got too much hardware between the lock side of the door and the strike jamb. I kind of like to, when I install these, obviously pre-drill the holes, but I might put them on a slight angle so that when I bring the screw in and the flat underside of the head meets the face of the plate, it will serve to suck the plate over. Just get it as tight as possible, because you can install that kind of crooked so that it actually cheats it off the door a little bit, and you want to draw it in as much as possible. Okay. Now, there is a link below this video to a document called Template where you can review all of the dimensional properties that we've already gone over. Also, there is references to the other finishes. PB for polished brass, AB for antique brass, BZ for satin bronze. All of those are on a solid brass base material. They then say 10B. That stands for oil rub bronze, but they do not make an oil rub bronze version. It's going to be a dark brown or Duranodic powder coat over stainless. So be mindful that this manufacturer is calling them 10B. They should not be doing that, period, end of sentence. It sends incorrect information to the client. It will not, while it will be complementary, it will not match oil rubbed bronze hardware to the T. Well, there is no oil rubbed bronze hardware that will match to the T, but the fact of the matter is they ought to call it Duranodic or powder coated dark bronze, or they should call it US 10BE, oil rub bronze equivalent, which the industry understands as a powder coated process. Anyway, it's a bit of a, thorn in my side that some manufacturers use that terminology fast and loose, because I'm the person who has to take the phone call from someone and says, yeah, they called it 10B, it doesn't match. My answer is no, it doesn't match. They shouldn't be using 10B. Finally, stainless steel is the S that's here. Then there is a link below this video to a document called Product Catalog where you can review all of the door reinforcing wraparound plates from Danjo, all of the other sizes that are available. So when you're doing a plate like this, start with your centers where there's 2 holes. Go right to the area where we're dealing with 4-inch centers, and then from there work with what's possible. You'll find that the 4-inch centers, they offer the top hole in 1.5 inches. So if you have a Schlage B100 series deadbolt, Kwikset I think had one that was 1.5 inches too. Their gate latch might be 1.5 inch hole, but if you require, or a Kaba Ilko could possibly work on 1.5 inch hole. So if you need 1.5 inch hole at the top, they've got that. Okay. And that's on one of the pages. The 4-inch holes where you'll find this, the only alternate when it comes to 4-inch with 2 1/8 is going to be for for a 2 3/4 back set, which would be the 943. So be mindful. You have to know all of these dimensions to properly order the item. All of the other wrap plates are in there, door reinforcing plates, specialty lock preparations are there, blank ones in case you wanted to drill your own holes, or maybe you've got a really funny back set. And Danjo can also manufacture realistically any plate that you need. However, customs are generally quite prohibitively expensive. Okay, so be mindful of that. You will absolutely want to take a blank unit and drill your own holes before custom ordering one. I have found it to be prohibitively costly. Even though if it's stainless, if you're going to drill through that, it'll be brutal. But I might take a piece of 2x material and get that inside of there and then use a drill press after I've clamped it all down and together. Now finally, there is a link below this video to the manufacturer's page where you can pull up not only all of the Danjo products that we sell, but also a link to the manufacturer's website, as well as a link to the full product catalog. Now, the name Donjo is quite synonymous with door reinforcing wraparound plates, and that link earlier to the product catalog will show you only these items from them. Their catalog is somewhat comprehensive. It might be a little unwieldy if you use the entire document, the full document. So we've broken it up into subsections for you to review. I'm partial to Donjo, and it's because I like the job that they do. Their products are good, their value is good, their people are good, responsive, and in the rare instance that they make a mistake, they correct it. And sometimes it's pulling teeth getting companies to rectify a mistake. Not so with Donjo. If you have more than an occasional need for trim and auxiliary hardware as a result of the way that they handle problems, I think they earn and actually deserve some consideration in terms of at least familiarizing yourself with the product line. Any questions on the Donjo 942-S-CW or CWS or any other Donjo product, please feel free to reach out to us. Thank you.